Hey, what's happening, family? So, welcome to part three on the monetization strategy for your AI side hustle. In part one, we talked about how we could use AI to create this new productized service where we can leverage one of the AI tools out there to create a productized service. And we use ChatGPT to come up with all of the fields for this, to come up with this video script that I created behind my condo building to help us come up with these different packages and so forth. So within less than an hour, we were able to create a new productized service that we can start promoting. And then in part two, we talked about a simple way to automate the lead generation for our new side hustle. So if I were to go back here and in the last video, I talked about how to set that up, but we can just review what we are doing. And by the way, I woke up this morning and I already had a response to one of my messages. So this is one of the messages that was sent out. Let me move my big head out of the way. And it's a little bit long, but the thing is that these messages don't have to be perfect. I would rather start sending out imperfect messages, and then look at them later and say, okay, I have an idea for how I can improve it, than trying to get it all right away before I start sending them out. And you can see there's also a mistake here, like for some reason there's a few line breaks there which could be corrected. But that's besides the point. The cool thing is that we've already gotten a response. This lady has said, it sounds interesting. And so it's just a matter of continuing that conversation. I want to be able to deepen that relationship. I want to be able to earn her trust. So she mentioned traveling. We could start talking about traveling. I would probably want to add her as a friend and maybe connect with her other places like Instagram. I want her to feel like I'm a friend, and then she's going to trust me. We can get on a call and she'd be willing to try out the service. So that's really the next step. And I can't, you might like skip over this part, but you want to make sure that you're actually building a relationship. You don't want to just like send them copy and paste questions, because that can turn off a lot of leads and lose you business. And what I want to actually do is I want to be able to see her, like I want to like look at these videos, where she's talking and stuff like about healthy boundaries and so forth. I want to see her energy. I want to get to know her, and I want her to get to know me. And when I do that, then we deepen that relationship. She'll be willing to trust me and to give my service a shot. So I'm not only you're not only selling your service, you're also selling yourself. You got to remember that. So that's pretty cool. So just less than half a day after I set up these messages, I'm already getting responses. Now let's go back to those DMs, and then I'm going to show you another strategy, which is pretty cool. And you don't have to use the software to do it, but it can get you a lot of leads so that you can build upon what you're already doing. And again, it's free. It's organic strategy, so that's pretty cool. So you can see that I've already, in the last video, I didn't show the results that were collected here. So I have 286 Facebook users that I scraped. I can run the scraping operation again to get more, but that'll probably last me a couple of weeks or so. And we can see that here I started out sending the messages quite slowly, so only 5 to 10 per day. I want to kind of test the waters first before I start ramping that up. And then I can either automatically increase it here, or I can just manually increase that later if the message is working and people are receiving it well. And then down here we can see that the pending messages are going out. All right, so let's move on to the next step that I want to cover in this video. And this is a concept where we basically give something away. We engage reciprocity to start conversations with more people like this. So the DM strategy is great because it's rather discreet and you can approach people directly. People still respond to that well. But what about if we want to, like develop lead magnets, right? We can use AI to create those lead magnets. And I often see posts on Facebook where somebody says like, I created this guide to helping you, get 5 times more views on your YouTube videos. Who wants it? So it's very generic, it's not descriptive, you're not like writing long copy. It's something like my friend Vin Clancy, you may know of him. He's a growth hacker. And there's another guy that often does this. He gets a lot of leads from Facebook. His name is Michael Sanchez, and he's a TikTok consultant, and he follows the same strategy. But I saw this guy, Vincent, So he's always doing posts like this, you know, and you see 257 comments, and it's just a very short post, like posting 24 times a day on Facebook. Who wants to see my post plan cheat sheet? So there's not even like any description. There's no link to a page. There's no picture of the product. He's just collecting leads this way. And then he'll send them automated follow-up messages. My ChatGPT only Facebook group is live. Free money making prompts every day. Who wants an invite? And so this was just posted 10 hours ago, and we can already see that there's 169 comments. So these are all leads. These are all just people that say me, and he collects all of these people that basically raise their hand, and they show that they are warm prospects, warm leads that he can follow up with and get them to check out his products. Pretty cool, right? So the next step, if we want to get more leads for our new service, is we have to do something very similar. And so we have to, you know, come up with some kind of cheat sheet or guide. And we can often find these ideas. You know, if you're not connected to people like this, you can probably just search for like cheat sheet and look for top performing posts that a lot of people are commenting on. So this is another guy who does these posts. You know, the TikTok tool you've been waiting for, 321 comments. And basically pretty much all of his posts are like this, like 300 hooks. So it really varies depending on what it is you are offering, but you kind of want to brainstorm and see. Because all of these comments are just people saying, yes, I want this, and me. And you've probably seen these posts before, and that's what we want to be able to do as well. And of course, we can use ChatGPT to help us come up with ideas. It's always there as our partner in crime to help us come up with naughty marketing ideas. So look at this, right? So ChatGPT prompts suck. Instagram ChatGPT prompts into utter perfection. Who wants a sneak peek before I sell them? So this is not a very long post, you know, it's just, but 572 comments. I mean, let's just imitate what works. So what we could do is we could use a guy like this as an example and say, you know, I want to create, let's tell ChatGPT that we want to create something similar, but for our niche. So let me put my head somewhere where I feel comfortable looking at myself. And let's go to ChatGPT. And what we can do is we want to be able to create posts like this and be able to not only post them on our profile, but post them in some of the groups where our target prospects and leads are hanging out. And the funny thing is we don't actually have to create a lead magnet to follow this strategy. We could just make these posts and not actually have anything to give these people. But of course, you know, ethically speaking, we would want to create the lead magnet as well. And I will talk about how to do that. So first we want to talk about a little bit about our customer avatar. So what I'm going to do is I find it difficult to type and to talk to you guys at the same time. So I'm going to pause the video for a second and I'm going to type out my prompt here. By the way, so I wanted to interject something before I move on to the next step. I don't want to start with a new chat here. So let's take this prompt that I started typing and let's go back to the productized service chat that we've already started, right? Because here we have the chat history and ChatGPT has already been helping us to create this service. So why don't we just continue that conversation? Because it already remembers everything that took place. So I'm going to pause this again and type out the rest of the prompt. All right, so there we go. I want to create some lead magnet posts similar to templates. Similar to some templates which I will provide you. Can I provide you some examples and we can create something similar that fits the product and target market. So let's go ahead and send that and see what he says. ChatGPT basically agrees to everything you say. It's like better than your best friends, right? Totally your new BFF, ChatGPT. So let's go ahead and take a few of these posts and some of the ones that got the most comments. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'll probably just create like a guide, like a PDF, which would be easiest. But we can come up with different ideas here. So, so let's go with the one that has like 500. Don't want anything too complicated. I saw it earlier. Where did it go? All right, this one. Okay. Uh, okay, so I want to create a guide or a cheat sheet to help people grow grow their social media and get more viewers and followers with shorts and reels. So we need to create posts like these. And ChatGPT often doesn't understand the nuances of marketing promotions. Like, it does sound quite gimmicky the way that it kind of creates content, but it's kind of good for just, maybe we can use it to come up with extra ideas. It never hurts to have someone helping you to brainstorm and so forth. Um, okay, so I don't think we can copy this, right? Okay, let's go ahead and copy that and go back. I should tell it like how many posts I want it to create, but that's probably okay. So the next thing we'd have to do is, so it's like too hypey. Unleash your social media growth potential. So when I post in, Facebook, I want to be a little bit more humble. I don't want to say tired of sifting through countless prompts. I mean, that might be okay, but it's a little bit edgy and that can turn people away. Maybe we might want to start, maybe like tone it down a little bit, like tone down the hype. I've spent months refining my Instagram short form content guide to perfection. Would you like an exclusive sneak peek? So that's good. I mean, we can keep this very short and kind of like a little bit ambiguous because when we keep the post short and we don't tell too much, we allow people to use their imagination to fill in whatever they think that they're going to get from it, if that makes sense. I have a theory that when I'm out with a woman, for example, and she guesses my age, like, I will get a wide variety of answers, but I have a theory that the woman will guess the age that she wants her ideal man to be. And so I think that it's the same when it comes to marketing. Like you're showing them like, I got something good. Like here's in this box, I have a gift for you. And then their imagination kind of gets excited about what's inside that box. And so that's kind of what we want to do when we create these posts. Like we want to evoke that kind of curiosity. And if we tell too much, we can spoil that curiosity effect. So it's kind of like just the headline, kind of like what you see on the cover of a magazine, right? 33 beauty tips or 7 things to never do when you're in bed. That gets you really curious. Like, I don't want to make those mistakes, so I need to make sure that I open that magazine to read that article. And so that's really what we want to do is we want to take some of these. So we can take a few of these and just kind of create some templates. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and save some of these to a document because I do struggle with talking and reading at the same time here. So I'm going to pause the video for a second and put these into a new document. And probably actually what I can do is I can go to my new productized service and just save those there. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Okay, so there's probably the first one. And I've selected this part because I want to remove a lot of the hype. There's a saying that in marketing, the 2 most powerful words are, yeah, sure. It's the prospect's natural skepticism. And if we make exaggerated claims, people will ignore what we're saying to them. So that's perfect, right? Short and sweet. Short form content guide. Let's say content checklist. That's more catchy and it sounds more tangible. Okay, so we can use some of this one. And again, just kind of shorten it a little bit. Let's say post number 1. And post number 2. And then we just need to add the call to action, drop a, what is that, book? Probably I won't use that emoji. And I'll send you the cheat sheet. So that will help you get 10 times more views from your. So who's going to want to say no to that? Basically, you want an offer that's impossible to say no, and then you know that you have a good offer. That's basically the rule of thumb. Drop an emoji, let's just say, and I'll send you the cheat sheet. Okay, perfect. So now we have our posts and we're ready to put these out into the world, start collecting leads. The final step is we want to make sure that we actually have something to send these people. And so we can use AI to create our lead magnets as well, using artificial intelligence and a few other tricks. So let's get into that. But pretty much we're done. You know, if we want to start collecting leads, the whole point of these posts is to just create icebreakers so that we can follow up with them, qualify them, and ask them probing questions to see how we can help them with our service. So it's basically a conversation starter. It's probably likely that a lot of people are not even going to read these guides. They're just saying that I'm interested in this, and then that gives us an excuse to start that conversation. Like, how many times have we received business cards and those business cards just end up in the trash later? You know, it's basically just the bridge that connects us. All right, so what we're going to do, because the focus of this service is Instagram, YouTube Shorts, let's go to YouTube, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some searches on that. And we can also use ChatGPT to help us create this. So I want to create some topics for my guide about Reels and Shorts. Can you give me an example of an outline? Now, we don't have to do this. But we can find some ideas there. So why we need to be posting Reels and Shorts. Okay, that's good. The case for Reels. Okay, so this is what actually happens. So this is perfect. So let's take a few of these, and these will be the first couple of chapters of our guide. We'll have lots of facts and selling points from these. Okay, perfect. So like we have probably a third of our guide written already. Perfect. Lots of different topics. So the next thing is we just have to go through each of these videos one by one, and we're going to send the transcripts of each video to ChatGPT to create some content from it. So as soon as these are loaded and we go through the advertisements, we'll be ready to do that. So I'm going to pause this for a second. All right, so we got our videos loaded, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this free extension called GLASP. It's at glasp.co. Just open that in case you want to check it out. Here's the URL. And what it does is it will send that a transcript of each YouTube video to ChatGPT to summarize. And then I can give it instructions. So here I can see the summary. Can you help to turn this transcript into a before and after case study? So we kind of need to be selective and creative about how we want to portray the problem. So obviously the summary of this video is that Instagram growth is unpredictable, and to a before and after case study with stating the problem lessons learned and create an in-depth article about what to do next with takeaways. And then we might want to tell it how many words we want it to be, like into a long form. And basically, we just repeat the process for each video, and then put this into a document. And then we can, create a nice template for our PDF if we want to. We have options there, but we don't really need to. You basically just need to create a document in Google and upload all of the content that we have. And then we repurpose that content. And then we need to write in the first person. Okay, perfect. A case study on consistent posting and growth. So this automatically reinforces the service that we want to offer. So this is absolutely perfect. We're definitely on the right track here. We might want to remove some bits of it, like I now embark, on this new journey or whatever. We might want to change that to saying like, I want to help other people do the same. I wonder if I should just paste this without formatting. Yeah, that's perfect. So we can, obviously before we export this into a PDF, we can kind of touch it up. We can add like templates and stuff, but basically all we have to do is just upload it as a PDF and then upload it to, download it as a PDF and then upload it to Google Drive, and then we're ready to send that to people. We can obviously choose a template. We can add pictures and other things. We definitely want to make sure that we're making it look nice. Maybe we do some bold lettering and stuff. That's just the extra touch to reinforce that this is something of quality. If you really want to do like a proper PDF, you can go to designer.com, and it's basically an AI PDF generator where we can post the link to our document and it will generate a PDF for us. So to add like different sections, we would want to go and do this one by one, repeat the process until we get several transcripts loaded up into ChatGPT and get it writing content for us. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these videos because I want to save some time. But if we go back and we look at Designer, there's also some lifetime. Okay, not this one. Designer.io. And I actually have to plug in my laptop, so give me a second, guys. And so this can use AI to automatically generate a nice looking PDF from the document that we're creating. And there's a bunch of lifetime deals out there on stuff like this where you can get access to something like Designer for life. So I bought this deal probably like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. But if we wanted to, we can just put the, why do I gotta fill this in every time I log in? So we can just create a nice ebook from our document. Just here where it says import from Google Doc. And this is just the fast way to do it using AI. If you want to do this professionally or you don't want it to look as nice, you have other options. You can just take the document itself and just send that to people. I mean, you can literally just take this URL and send it to people. You don't have to, touch it up. It's totally up to you. I'm just showing you an option. So sometimes it's even more effective to have it be less professional looking. So I give you an example, right? When when I'm trying to generate leads for my retreats, for example, I don't send people to the website. I don't even send them to Instagram. I just upload all of the pictures from my retreats to Flickr, and I just share the Flickr link with people. So sometimes when your advertising looks less polished, that can actually be a good thing. So I knew that my selling point for my retreats were these photos, right? You can see the pictures of the balcony from the house, the village, the beaches nearby, the family dinners that we had together. Look at this handsome looking guy here. So that's what I want you to take away. Like, you don't have to create a nice looking PDF. You don't have to use Photoshop and InDesign to create something professional. You can just send them a link to this Google document. And I know people like Vin Clancy, he does this all the time. He'll upload these files to Drive, and they're not really even that professional looking. So you can just send a link to the document, this can be your cheat sheet. And then I would just repeat the process, that we did before, where let's just copy and paste the exact same prompt, save ourselves a lot of time. But we want to look at the summary to make sure that we're on point here. Yeah, perfect. So rather than a case study, let's just do like a guide with actionable insights into a long form guide with action items. And then we have the next section or the next chapter for our guide. And again, we can just take this Google document and it's ready to go. We don't even have to add pictures if we don't want to. We can just send this to people and that will be our lead magnet. So if we want to, we can also create something even nicer. It's just an extra step, but it's entirely up to you. And part of the art of marketing is knowing what to do in specific situations. Okay, so we can just start with this, and we don't really need the introduction because we already have that in the previous item. And our output got cut off, so let's continue generating. And then we might go through and add the transcripts from several videos so that we have something that's like 30 pages, at least like 30 pages is usually a good number. We don't want it to be too redundant. And then we might just say, step-by-steps to grow or something. How to grow step-by-step and captivate your audience. So I'm sure by now you're pretty much familiar with this process. I don't need to do this whole thing now, but basically that's it. So I would obviously take more time when I'm not talking to you and maybe make the necessary touch-ups and flourishes. So it's still kind of short. Maybe we want to have it like at least a dozen pages. If we want to, we can just import this. We just need to get the URL and make sure that I don't know what the name of the document is. It probably doesn't matter. Let's just make sure that this link is shareable. And then what I can do is, if I just want to do the lazy option, I can just import this. If you wanted to create a nice looking PDF and you had time, you could use something like InDesign, and you could also buy a nice ebook template from a site like graphicriver.net. And it has a lot of PDF templates. Doesn't matter. So you can actually buy a template for like slideshow or an ebook, $17, $11, and basically you just input your own text and images. And then you can get something that looks really nice and polished and more professional looking. But we can also just use the AI to do it for us. And let's just go ahead and click next. I don't want to dally too long on this step because I want to get to the finish, obviously. And then we might want to find a template that's similar to what we're doing. So I kind of like this like gamify one. That's kind of cool. And then we can later replace these however we want. We can replace the images and customize the text. So this is good. Let's use that. It's designed for social media marketing. And then it'll go to work to create a book from our document. So there we go. We can see that it automatically touched up our content for us. It added these different sections and so forth. And we can still edit this, which is pretty cool. So it's not exported as a PDF yet. But we have it, looking like a proper book now. I'm not a big fan of this image, but we can easily replace that. And it's just like any other page builder or document that you might be familiar with. So we can change the title here. We can also change this picture here where it says images and so forth. So for some reason that, that layer is not clickable. There it is. Okay, well, you get the idea. If I wanted to, I could just delete the entire cover page and then design my own cover. Not really a big deal. But just like that, we have a nice looking PDF that we can send to people. So PDFs are great. We can create guides, checklists that we can send as part of our lead generation strategy. And let's get back to the main point of this all. So with a service like what we're doing in this example, we want to look at groups with like coaches, consultants, content creators, people that fit our target market. If you're targeting e-commerce businesses or speakers or BNI professionals, then there's groups that exist for those, and you can find those. So there was something like six-figure, yeah, this one. So you can see, like, because I'm using my software to join these, I'm already in like dozens of these. And then we can go through and we can post in these groups one by one using the text that we've saved. And start generating a whole bunch of leads. And so if I'm doing this manually, I might just like post in 5 groups at a time and then save the links to those posts. Oh, so I'm not actually in this group yet. It's probably going to ask me a bunch of questions, which I don't want to do now. But let's go ahead and start with this one, right? So all I'd have to do is just paste in the post that ChatGPT helped me come up with. And then I might want to add a picture of the cover or make it like, so I think that if I'm using my mobile, now I might be wrong about this, I can easily create those kind of like image posts where we see like it has like the clouds and the birds. I think it's possible to do on laptop, but I don't recall at this particular moment. Anyway, so we're ready to go. We can start posting those in various groups. Yeah, you can automate this using the software just like we did with the direct messages. If we go here under campaigns, we could also create a campaign. If you're asking what this software is, it's called Mass Planner. It's currently called susocial, susocial.com. And it's running on my server, and I can, automatically post in these groups, but there's really no need to. Just from 5 posts, we can test this offer and spread it around and see if we're getting leads. And then from there, what we'd want to do is we want to save the URL of those posts. So let's go back and let's take a look at this one, for example. 257 comments. So if I right-click on the timestamp and open that a new tab, I'll get a unique URL. And there's some different things that we can do. If we're making our own posts, we would want to save these URLs to our document, because then we can go back later and bump those posts. So we can come back after a few days and leave a comment on those posts, delete the comment, and that will bump each of those posts so that we get more people viewing those offers. And so you would just basically go back to your document and then save the links to the posts that you make up here. So obviously that's not my post, I'm just showing you how this works. And another cool thing, if we go back to the contact tool in the software, I can scrape all of the people that liked and commented on those posts as well. So it could be my own post, or it could be someone else's post, like Mike Sanchez or Vin Clancy. I can scrape all of the people that liked and commented on these posts. So there's a few different ways to do that. I can import the URL into my contact tool and send a direct message to those people that responded to the post that I made, or if I wanted to contact other people who responded to similar posts, I would just repeat the process that I showed you in part 2, just paste the URL in there, and then there's a lot of other things that I can do with those URLs. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, or if there's anything that I haven't covered, anything that's not clear, just drop a comment. But ultimately, this process is really simple. It's just a series of steps. You can use ChatGPT to help you come up with the lead magnet. It can help you come up with ideas for things to search for, what you should be searching for, and then you can easily repurpose a lot of the content out there to create your cheat sheets. And again, you can do this in less than an hour, just like all of the other steps that we're covering in this section of the course. So that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you had fun and you learned something from these 3 parts, and go out there and create something cool for yourself.